Hi friends, welcome back to my kitchen. In today's video, I'm going to walk you through how I freezer prep high protein breakfast and wholesome snacks that make busy mornings so much easier. Whether you're always on the go or you're about to step into a season where cooking just isn't realistic, this video is for you. I'm sharing this because our family is getting ready for a big kitchen renovation, and for a while we won't have access to our large appliances. So my goal is to prep one full month of breakfast food for my family of 5. It took me about 2 days to make everything while also taking care of my toddler twins and their big sister, but this will save us so much money and help us stay nourished without relying on store-bought foods. To kick off this freezer prep, I'm starting with muffins, something easy for the kids to grab for snacks or to add to breakfast. Today I'm making 3 different kinds, which will give me about 4 dozen muffins, starting with 2 dozen blueberry. For each of these muffin recipes, I'm starting with my dry ingredients, and then I will mix my wet ingredients together before adding those to my dry ingredients. All of my measurements will be in the description box. If freezer prepping feels overwhelming, I totally understand, but as we go through today's video, I'll share what helped me stay organized and actually get through all these meals without burning out. And if you're someone who preps often, I'd love to hear you share in the comments what works for you and what your favorite freezer-friendly recipes are. My first recommendation is to keep it simple and make what you already know. The task can feel big enough as it is, so there's no need to add stress by learning a bunch of new recipes. I started by writing a list of foods I knew my family would actually eat, and then I made the simplest versions possible. For these muffins, I wanted variety. Blueberry, chocolate chip, and double chocolate were on my mind, so I used AI to quickly generate recipes in the exact quantities I needed. It saved me so much time and mental energy, which honestly matters a lot when you're doing this much prep. After the muffins come out of the oven, I'm going to let them cool to room temperature, and then I will flash freeze them in the freezer so I can easily store them in an airtight container later. We're now moving on to the more savory side of breakfast. I'm going to be making breakfast burritos and my egg bakes, so I'm going to start by fully cooking the meat for each of those. I'm going to mix 2 pounds of lean ground hamburger meat, and then I'm adding about 2/3 cup of taco seasoning before flattening this out onto a baking sheet. This will be used for my breakfast burritos. I'm also going to use the same cooking method for this breakfast sausage that I will be adding to all 4 of my egg bakes. I like to cook my breakfast meats like this in the oven whenever I do a big batch prep of breakfast so that I don't have to babysit the stovetop while I prep all the other meals. To make sure I get a month's worth of breakfast, I will be making 4 egg bakes. 1 egg bake usually gets me 12 individual servings. However, my twins usually split one. Therefore, these egg bakes will cover at least 10 meals, but should give me about 2 weeks worth of breakfast for my family of 5. I'm keeping it super simple here by just cracking 15 eggs into each dish and then mixing them up. I'll add salt and pepper, chopped spinach, and then cut up that breakfast sausage I had cooked in the oven. I had cooked up about 4 pounds of breakfast sausage, and I'm cutting this on my sheet pan into fourths so that I have about 1 pound for each egg bake. These will then bake in the oven for about 35 minutes at 350 degrees until the egg is solid and cooked through. I'm going to let these cool to room temperature before I add them to a small cookie sheet. I will flash freeze these in a freezer as well before storing them. As the egg bakes cool, I can get started on assembling my 28 breakfast burritos. In addition to cooking up the taco meat, I cooked up 28 eggs in a baking dish, similarly to how I cooked up the other egg bakes. Now I can simply divide my taco meat into 28 portions and my eggs into 28 portions. I will add them to my tortilla, wrap it up in tinfoil to then store in the freezer. "28 burritos later, we have 2 weeks worth of breakfast for my husband and myself. After the egg bakes have slightly chilled in the freezer, I'll add them to these airtight containers and they fit perfectly. I literally got these from the dollar store and they have held up pretty well. By this time, my muffins were also frozen enough where I could store them on their sides like this. Flash freezing them prevents them from squishing when stored sideways, and storing them sideways allows me to get way more in a single container. And that wraps up day 1 of freezer prep. With all this cooking comes a lot of dishes, so I definitely need to take care of those. I will really be looking forward to when our kitchen is redone and I finally have a dishwasher again, so I don't have to wash all of these by hand. Day 2 is here, and to wrap up the breakfast side of this meal prep, I am making breakfast sandwiches. I'm starting this process similarly to making the egg bakes from yesterday, except I'm leaving out the ground sausage. We'll be using Canadian bacon as our meat for this. While those are going, I'm also going to get a loaf of bread going in my bread machine. I'll have quite a few loaves going today, so I'm going to be jumping back and forth between my breakfast sandwiches and bread. As soon as those egg bakes are done, I'm going to throw some cheddar cheese slices onto these, and I will allow that to melt naturally from the heat that comes off of the egg bakes. To make this go quickly, I'm going to start setting up my assembly line. I am using pre-made English muffins, but if you're really hardcore, you could totally make your own. I'm just trying to save myself some time because I already had so much that I was making. To put this all together, I cut a portion of the egg out, added a slice of Canadian bacon, and then wrapped that up in tinfoil so I could easily pull these out to toast them in our air fryer on the days that we need to reheat them. By the end of all of this, I had made 35 breakfast sandwiches, which is about a week's worth of breakfast for all 5 of us. When those were done being assembled, my bread dough was ready to be pulled out to rise, so I'm going to let this sit on the counter until it doubles in size. While that rises, I also started a couple other loaves to be put on dough mode in the bread machine. For the first few loaves, I turned them into regular sandwich bread, but then the last recipe I had divided and made them into buns, which I will be using for our dinner freezer prep. And that wraps up all my breakfast freezer prep for the next few weeks. Having these meals ready to go gives me so much peace of mind, especially knowing that even during the chaos of the renovation, my family will still be eating well. If this video helped you, I'd love for you to give it a thumbs up. And if you're in a busy season of life and want more realistic, from scratch meal prep and homemaking routines, I'd love to have you here, so make sure you're subscribed. Thanks so much for being here, and I'll see you in the next one.